All right, Blue Devils lose the first one 7-6 in 9 innings. It was only a 7-inning scheduled game. Took 2 extras to figure it out, and they lose it 7-6. We go to the second game. This one now be a 7-inning game, provided it doesn't go extras, but the regulation will be 7. So we get my check there, which I did, and the internet, I did some checking, and the internet should be made. It's just what we get is what we get, and not the greatest, but we'll go with it. So, second game on the mound for the Blue Devils, Camden Brashear. Beck, Culvert, and Williamson will be scheduled for. Looks like the internet may be a little bit glitchy. Our bandwidth is not the greatest. There's a foul back by Beck. Ash. 0 for 3 in the first game, but he had 3 walks. No, that was me thinking, not anything you did. The count on way outside, so 1-2 the count. Two balls and 2 strikes. Now see if we get so tough information to get this game going. We sometimes that's outside. So from 0-2, it's hard information to get it all written down. So bear with us as we try and catch up. 3-2 the count on 4 outs. So that 31 Culvert was 6 in the first game. Had a couple of base hits early on, then a couple of strikeouts, a ground out, and there's a strike, catches the outside corner. At first base is breaking ball goes out on the count. Comes the 1 at 2-1 the count. Three and 1 the count. Ball headed into right field. That's taken care of by Smock. So that's going to bring up Maverick Williamson. He is the designated hitter and the pitcher in this game. So if he leaves the game as the pitcher, he will continue to be the designated hitter. He was the first baseman in the first game. There's a curveball that stays up and in. Williamson was 1 for 5 with a home run, a couple of ground outs, a strikeout, and a fly out in the first game. There's a pop-up toward the right-hand side. Incoming to take care of that is Santiago. That's going to bring up Gilbert Rodriguez, the second baseman. He was 1 for 5 in the first game. Had a couple of strikeouts. 3 strikeouts. Bud did have his hit. Rodriguez is the second baseman. 2 outs now with a runner at first base. Brashear on the mound. There's a strike outside corner at the waist. He's from Liberty, Missouri. Has a 10.45 ERA. 1-1 is his record on this year. 0-1 the count. There is strike 2, so quickly 0-2 the Camden Brashear on the mound. Breaking ball sails outside, so 1-2 the count. Comes the 1-2. And the high heater for the strikeout. So the leadoff walk does not come back to haunt. No runs on, no hits. We'll take a quick break. No score, Blue Devils coming up here in the bottom of the first. I'll be back. All right, Maverick Williamson will be on the mound for the Panthers. He has a 2.45 ERA. Marcus Dirks will lead things off for the Blue Devils. There's a strike outside corner at the knees. Dirks was 3 for 5 in the first game with a couple of singles and a double for 2 RBI. There's a ball headed into center field. And that's taken care of by Brown for the first out of the bottom of the first inning for the Blue Devils. That's going to bring up Freddie Nolan, the fourth. He was 0 for 4 in the first game with 3 flyouts, a ground out, and a hit by pitch. There's a strike called right through there, outside half of the plate. Ball headed into right field, and that's going to be down for extra bases. Headed into second base, so Nolan the fourth with a double to right field wall. So that'll bring up Santiago. Santiago was 2 for 5 in the first game with a home run, but he did have a base hit in the inning that we scored 3 runs to tie it up and send it to extras. There's a ball headed into right field and called foul. So Santiago just pulled that one a bit foul. Up here in the press box, the boys think that that was fair, but nonetheless ruled foul. So runner at second base, 0-1 the count on Santiago. That just misses. One ball, one strike, one out, one on here in the bottom of the first. Swing and a miss by Santiago. To the count now. Just gets a piece of that and fouls it back to the screen. So he earns another pitch. We will go 1-2 again. Back and over the third base dugout. Comes the 1-2 again to Santiago. The ball headed into left field. And the catch is made by Colvert out there for the second out of the inning. So that's going to bring up Pachorik. Pachorik was 2 for 4 in the first game, had a couple of ground outs, a couple of base hits, and one of them for an RBI. Like to get on the board early if he can get something on the outfield grass. That's down low. Catcher in this second game is Akins. Colvert, Brown, Hilton across the outfield. Hanneberg, Beck, Rodriguez, and Custer across the infield with Williamson on the mound and Akins behind the plate. There's a strike called outside corner at the knees. So catcher, third base, and first base all different for the Panthers in this second game. High pop up into shallow right field. A lot of Panthers. Says he'll take it, and he does. So the Blue Devils get a double, but no runs on one hit. We go to the second inning, no score. Custer Angel up for the Panthers. There's a strike on the outside corner. A walk in that first game. 0-2 the count on him here as he leads off the top of the second inning. That's outside, 1-2 the count. Comes the 1-2. That's low and inside. Fly ball into deep left field. Going back to take care of that is Nolan the fourth for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up Carson Hilton. He'll step in with one out and nobody on. He was 0 for 3 with a couple of flyouts and a strikeout. He takes a strike there. 0-1 the count. On the right fielder, Hilton takes strike 2, so quickly 0-2 the count. Camden Brashear throwing some strikes right here to get things started off. After the fly out to deep left, more strikes to come. Comes the wind in the 0-2, and that misses outside. 1-2 the count. Game in extra inning 7-6. There's a hit by a pitch. Tucker Aikens will come to hit. He is catcher. First game he was at third base. First pitch to him is a strike called. He was 1 for 2, was hit by a pitch. Had a base on balls walk and an RBI base hit and a strikeout in the first game. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Breaking ball breaks outside, 2-1. Fly ball to left field, then a hit by a pitch, so 1 out, runner at first to Aikens. Swing and a miss of that heater on the inside corner. .87-mile-an-hour fastball. It's a ground ball headed at the second baseman. Over 2, so talk to Pachorik to Santiago for the 4-6-3 ground out. We go to the bottom of the second inning, no score. All right, here we go to the bottom of the second inning. Smock, Woida, and Perry scheduled up. Smock was 1 for 5 in the first game. Had a couple of strikeouts, a couple of pop-outs, and a base hit. That misses a little bit low and outside count to the right fielder, Spencer Smock. Fouls that back to the screen. Won the count. Ground ball to the third baseman. And take bag does Hanneberg, and over to Custer for the 5-3 ground out. That's going to bring up Woida. Woida, the designated hitter. In the first game, he was 1 for 4 with a ground out, pop outs. One of them was a soft line drive to first, and he had a double off the base of the wall in right. First pitch to him was a ball. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball inside part of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Fly out to right field. Bad choice of cameras on my part. Nonetheless, a fly out to Brown in right center. So that's going to bring up Cade Perry. Perry was 2 for 5 in the first game with a base hit and a 2 RBI double. Had a strikeout and a fly out. There's choice other than that. 1-0 the count. All the way back to the screen was that ball. So 2-0 the count now on Cade Perry, the third baseman. Out into shallow left field. Coming on to take care of that is Brown. Brown comes in to take care of that, so no runs on no hits for the Blue Devils. We go to the top of the third. No score. To the top of the third we go. Hanneberg, Brown, and Beck scheduled up for the Panthers. Hanneberg had a pinch hit, but he struck out in the first game as a pinch hitter. There's a strike called to him. There's strike 2 called. 0-2 the count quickly. Hanneberg. That's up high and all the way back to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Breaking ball, swing and a miss for the strikeout. It's going to bring up Jaron Brown, the center fielder.
Center fielder Jaron Brown.
Brown was 1 for 5 in the first game. Did have a ground ball that yielded a run. He did have a stolen base and an RBI base hit. There's a line drive. Got out there quickly to Marcus Dirks for the fly out to center field. So back to the top of the order. Back with Beck. Beck is from Kansas City, Kansas. Takes a strike called. He reached on a base on balls his first time up. A little bit of an overthrow there, way outside and in the dirt. 1-1 the count. Jamin Beck. He's the shortstop. There's a ball back to the pitcher. Juggles it a little bit. Finally tosses it over to Santiago for the 1-3 ground out. No runs on, no hits. We go to the bottom of the third, still no score. All right, here we go to the bottom of the third inning. Horn, Tolk, and Dirk scheduled up for the Blue Devils.
Number 55, Braden Horn.
Braden Horn's going to lead things off for the Blue Devils. In the first game, Horn was 2 for 5, had a couple of base hits. Ball 1 to him, first pitch from Maverick Williamson. There's a line shot right at the the shortstop, and Beck lets that go underneath his glove and out into the outfield. Listed as a hit on the board. So that's going to bring up Sawyer Tolk. He was 1 for 4 in the first game. Had a couple of soft line drives for outs, but he did have a high chopper base hit on the infield. Squares to bunt. The bunt is down. The pitcher's out to get it and throws up the line, but a nice job of Custer to get that ball. So Williamson comes off, fields that bunt, sends it down to Custer for the sack bunt. for talk, and we're back to the top of the order. Marcus Dirks. Dirks is from Kansas City. It shows Missouri, but I believe it to be Kansas City, Kansas is what it should be. I'll hope that I'm right in that. Someone will have to let me know sometime. There's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Both teams still looking for their first run of the game. Dirks flew out to Brown in center field his first time up. That misses just a little bit outside. Comes the 2-1 pitch from Williamson. Breaking ball, catches the outside corner. That was definitely the top side of the belt, boys. I would agree with that. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nonetheless, they decide down there the balls and strikes, not me. Here comes the 2-2. That stays high and outside. So 3-2 the count. On the center fielder, Marcus Dirks. Bottom of the 3rd inning action. 7-inning scheduled game because the first game went extras. Whenever the first game goes any extra innings, the second game cuts back to a 7. There's a ball headed deep into right field. That ball's going to be down in for extra bases. Watch the boys run a little bit. And headed into third base with a triple is Dirks. RBI on the board for the Blue Devils. And that's going to bring up Freddie Nolan the 4th. Nolan the 4th is from Fort Worth, Texas. He had a double his first time up. There's a strike outside corner at the knees. So Dirks with the triple after the horn base hit. Fouls that breaking ball away. So we had a base hit, then a sac bunt. Really didn't need the sac bunt, but we got it anyway. And the runner scored on the triple by Marcus Dirks. Another foul ball backing out of play. So Nolan the 4th in a battle with Maverick Williamson. Ground ball at the second baseman. So Nolan the 4th does his job there. Hits a ground ball to Rodriguez over to Custer. And the 4-3 ground out yields a run, which is the way you're supposed to do it. That's going to bring up Santiago. Santiago is from Calle, Puerto Rico. That's down low, 1-0 the count. Nolan the 4th did a nice job hitting it to the right side to get the run in, but gave up himself. There's a ball headed into left field. And the wrong camera part for the fly out. But the Blue Devils get 2 runs. We go to the top of the 4th inning. Blue Devils leading 2-0. I'll be back. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure and like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you'll be notified every time we make an upload or go live. Thanks again. All right. To the top of the fourth inning we go.
Number 31, Cutter Culver.
Colvert, Williamson, and Rodriguez scheduled up for the Panthers. Colvert is from Lenoke, Arkansas. That's outside for ball one, 1-0 the count. He flew out to Smock in right field his first time up. Blue Devils leading 2-0 here in the top of the fourth. There's a ball headed into deep left field, and that ball's out of here for the home run. So Colvert launches one to left center, cut the lead in half. That'll bring up Maverick Williamson.
Number 25, Maverick Williamson.
Williamson is from Salina, Oklahoma. Way outside. 1-0 the count. He popped up to Santiago, way in on the infield his first time up in this game. 2-0 the count. There's a line drive headed for left field. That's off the top of the fence. Headed for second base with a double. That ball got out of here in a hurry, but off the wall down there for a double.
Number 3, Gilbert Rodriguez.
It brings up Gilbert Rodriguez. He's the second baseman. He's from the Dominican Republic. He will step in with a runner at second base and still nobody out. 1 run in on the home run by Cutter Colvert. Brashear wants to visit with Horn a minute. So the Blue Devils plate 3 in the bottom of the second. Back with 1 so far here in the top of the fourth. So 2-1 our score. That's up high. 1-0 the count. Camden Brashear on the mound. There's a swing and a miss. Way outside. It's going to be a wild pitch. It's going to allow Williamson to move to third. So 2-1 the count on Rodriguez. It's a high fly ball on the left side. Out into shallow left field is Pachorik. So Pachorik. It's going to bring up Custer.
Number 33, Larson Custer.
Custer is from Chanute, Kansas. So a hometown boy for the Neosho Panthers. One out and a runner at third now. There's a strike on the outside corner. Custer led off the second inning with a fly ball out to Nolan the fourth in left. That's high and outside. One ball, one strike, one out, one on, one run in the inning so far for the Panthers. Pulled that one foul. One count now. So the sac fly Larson Custer for an RBI. That's going to tie things up. That's going to bring up Hilton. That's low and inside. Swinging a miss of that high heater. Hilton is from Gardner, Kansas. 1-1 the he was hit by a pitch his first time up in this second game. That curveball drops low and inside, so 2-1 the count. That's up high. 3-1. So a home run, a double, moved up on a wild pitch, and then a sac fly. That's ball four. Without the wild pitch, you have a runner that doesn't even get to tag and come to third. But nonetheless, the wild pitch let the runner be over at third.
Catcher Tucker Akins.
It's going to bring up Akins. Akins is from Pittsburgh, Kansas. There's a ball must a little bit high. Breaking ball looking like it got back down to the zone the way it's been called today, but ruled a ball. 1-0 the count. There's a strike called. Outside corner breaking ball at the knees. 1-1 the count. Panthers have gotten it tied back up on a home run and a sac fly. There's a breaking ball for strike two. 1-2 the count. Comes the pitch from Brashear. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. So the Panthers get 2 runs on 2 hits. We're all tied up at 2 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. I'll be back. All right.
Number 5, Tanner Pachorik.
We've made it halfway through this one, all tied at 2. Pachorik, Smock, and Wojda scheduled up. Pachorik is from Aurora, Colorado. He takes strike 1, called outside corner at the knees. He flew out to Hilton in right field. He drove him deep last time. That's down low, 1-1 the count. 2 runs on 2 hits for the Panthers, 2 runs on 3 hits for the Blue Devils, all tied up at 2 here in the bottom of the 4th. Turned on that inside pitch and rifled it down between the third. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As Tanner Pachorik leads off the bottom of the 4th for the Blue Devils. There's strike 3 called. It's going to bring up Spencer Smock. Smock is from Aurora, Colorado as well. He'll step in. And he's hit by a pitch. That's going to bring up Wojda. Wojda will step in with a runner and 1 out. Wojda is from Lincoln, Nebraska. He will step in. His first time up, he flew out to the right center field. There's a strike. Outside corner right there. Nonetheless, called strike 1, 0-1 the count. Pickoff attempt from Williamson over to Custer. Nothing much going on over there. Smock back in safely. Tying inside. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Blue Devils looking for 1 run to take a lead here. Runner goes. Tries to slap it down the right field line, and that's a fair ball. And the double into the right field corner by Wojda. Scores Smock for the Blue Devils to get that 1 run to take the lead. So Wojda slaps it down the right field line for a double and an RBI. That's going to bring up Cade Perry. Perry is from Omaha, Nebraska. He steps in with 1 out and 1 on. That's up high. So Wojda with the double down the right field line just slaps it down the right field line. Nice job with the bat. And Smock scores all the way from first. 1-0 the count on Cade Perry. There's a strike called. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Same scenario as ones a while ago, except now the Blue Devils have a 1-run lead. So second baseman, quick hands there by Rodriguez for the 4-3 ground out. That's going to bring up Horn. Horn is from Derby, Kansas. 2 outs and a runner at third now. Swing that pitch. 0-1 the count. Horn had a base hit his last time up. And that one's past the diving left fielder, shortstop Beck. So an RBI base hit for Horn. Puts the Blue Devils up 4-2. It's going to bring up Sawyer Talk. Talk is from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. He's up there with 2 outs and a runner at first base. He had a sac bunt his last time up. 1-0 the count to him. That's down low. 2-0 the count. Sawyer Talk, the Blue Devils' second baseman. That's down low. So 3-0 the count to the number 9 hitter. Comes the 3-0 pitch from Williamson. There's a strike on the inside corner. 3-1 the count now. It's a ground ball headed through the hole on the right side. Coach going to hold Horn up at second. So runners at first and second with 2 outs now. Visit to the mound. We'll take a short break. Blue Devils scored 2 last inning, 2 this inning. We lead 4-2. We'll take a break. I'll be back. All right, back to the top of the orders. Dirks had an RBI triple his last time up. Drove it deep to right center, squares to bunt, and the bunt is foul. Oh, count on the center fielder, Marcus Dirks. There's a strike on the outside corner, so 0-2 the count on the center fielder, Marcus Dirks. Foul ball backing out of play over the third base dugout. We'll do it's outside, 1-2 the count. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on.
Arts.
That's in the dirt. Two strikes, 2 outs, 1 so far in the inning.
I've not heard a mom say getting batted box in a long time. Dude, that lady's pissing me off. I think it's awesome. Like a kid yelling.
Comes the 2-2 from Williamson.
Yeah!
Down low. 3-2 the count now. So the runners be off with the pitch. See if Dirksen gets something on the outfield grass. We'll watch them all run. Comes the 3-2 from Maverick Williamson, that is. Three balls, 2 strikes. 4-2 lead by the Blue Devils. That's up high for ball 4. So that'll load up for Freddie the 4th. Nolan the 4th had a double in the first. A 4-3 ground out to second base in the third that yielded an RBI. See if the outfield grass score a couple of runs. 4-2 the lead. Top of the. Nope, should be the bottom. Comes the pitch. Swing and hit. Foul ball backing out of play. We'll do the 1-2 again. Comes the stretch and the 1-2. And a foul ball. We'll do the 1-2 again. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bases full of Blue Devils. The ball headed into right field. Came in just a bit, did Hilton, but he retreats and recovers for the fly out. So the Blue Devils get 2 runs on 2 hits. Go to the top of the 5th inning. Blue Devils leading 4-2. I'll be back. All right, Reed Hanneberg with the swing and a miss, and there's a second swing. So Owen struck out his first time up. Hanneberg is from Wichita, Kansas. 0-2 the count on. That's low. Top of the fifth action, scheduled 7-inning game. That just misses 2-2. The conference play is a 7-inning game, then a 9-inning game. Unless the first game goes extras, then the second game becomes just a 7 instead of a 9. So from 0-2 to 3-2 on Hanneberg. Brown on deck. It's a ground ball. Perry's going to cut that off, load up the rifle, and shoot it over to Santiago for the 5-3 ground out. It's going to bring up Brown. Brown is from McPherson, Kansas. He flew out to center field his first time up. That may be out to my camera where my camera can't get to it. Guess I should have gone to that camera right there, which is a new one to me. That's a pop out to Horn, the catcher. There's a strike called back to the top of the order, and Beck. Beck has reached on a base on balls and grounded back to the pitcher. His 2 at-bats in this game. There's a strike called on the outside corner, sir. Quickly 0-2 the count on the shortstop, Jamin Beck. Down low in the dirt. 1-2 the count. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 5th inning action. Foul ball headed for the soccer field. Comes the 1-2. It's high and outside. Back around did Horn, but 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. There's a one-hopper grabbed by Brashear, by that's error probably on Santiago, but nonetheless, that's going to be an error. Hit it hard, a one-hopper, and Perry comes up with it, and going to be safe at. So that's going to bring up Colbert. Colbert had a home run his last time up. Shallow right field. Sawyer Talk goes out to take care of that. So no runs on no hits. In the inning, we go to the bottom half. Blue Devils leading 4-2. I'll be back. All right, here we go to the bottom half of the game. Blue leading 4-2. Frankie Santiago. Then Pachorik and Smock scheduled up for the Blue Devils. There's a strike, catches the inside corner. Santiago has been out on fly balls to left and left center in this second game. That's outside. That's up high. 2-1 the count now. Comes the 2-1. Inside. So 3-1 the count. Taco as he leads off the bottom of the fifth for that's going to be taken by the left fielder Covert for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up Pachorik. Pachorik will step with one out and nobody on to face Williamson. Williamson on the mound. He is the DH hitter in this game as well. DH pitcher, where if he's replaced, he'll continue to be the DH. Buster is taking care of that business this game. 0-2 the count. Foul ball back and out. 80s fastball here. So we'll do the 0-2 again. Breaking ball headed, gets a good bounce. So Hanneberg scoops it, throws a one-hopper over to Custer. Custer scoops it out for the 5-3 ground out. It's going to bring up Smock. Smock has grounded out to the third baseman, Hanneberg, by a pitch in this second game. He takes ball one, 1-0 the count. Squares to bunt, it's up in the air and cannot get to it. Can the catcher Akins? Akins is catching in the second game. He was the third baseman in the first game. So Hanneberg is getting the duties at third base while Akins moves to behind the plate. Breaking ball stays inside just a bit. 2-1 the count. Breaking ball pulls it down the left field line. See what I got in the look. Need to adjust that back to the right just a little bit, but that's where that ball headed to. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Foul ball off over the top of us. And Maverick Williamson, he's from Salina, Oklahoma on the mound. 3-2 the count now on Spencer Smock. 4 low and inside. That's going to bring up Woida. Woida flew out to center field and then had an RBI double into the right field corner his last time out. Smock was on first and scored from there. That's high and inside, 1-0. Oh, the count. There's a ball headed to the right side. Woida with the base hit. Right field, so Woida hits. That's going to bring up Cade Perry. Perry will step in with runners at first and second, 2 outs. He's been out on a fly to Brown in center field and grounded out to the second baseman, Rodriguez. His 2 at-bats in this second game. 2 outs, 2 on. That's up high. 1-0 the There's a strike on the inside corner. 1-1 the count. Smock at base. Woida over at first. The plate. Swing and a miss, so 1-2 the count. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. It's a breaking ball. He drove it into the right field. It's gonna score an single for Cade Perry. Gets him an RBI to make a 5 team up. Braden has all the base hits, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth. See if he can come back with another one here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. Turned on that one, whistled it by Coach Goldbeck down there at third. Oh, and 1 the count on the third baseman. Fouled that one back out of play, so 0-2 the count. That's down low. 2-1 the count. Comes the 1-2. Coming in, care of that is Custer. Custer takes care of that, and the Blue Devils get 1 run on 2 hits. We go to the top of the 6th inning. Blue Devils leading 5-2. I'll be back. pitching change has been made here from Overland Park, Kansas. Will 7 ERA, a 1 and 15.2 innings pitched in those 9 appearances outside ball 1 to Maverick Williamson. He's had a double and a pop out in this one. Blue Devils with the 5-2 lead. Top of the 6th inning. There's a strike. Breaking ball cuts across the inside part of the plate. 1-1 the count. Breaking ball there at 81 miles an hour. 2-1 the count. Excuse me, the count. Look for the heater on the outside part of the plate here. 91 miles an hour. One ball, 2 strikes. Breaking ball stays way outside. 2-2 the count. Williamson. He is the pitcher / designated hitter, which means if he leaves the game as the pitcher, he will remain the designated hitter. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Strike 3. Breaking ball catches. It's going to bring up Rodriguez.
Second baseman, Gilbert Rodriguez.
Struck out into shallow left field to Pachorik in this. There's a ball headed at Pachorik. Field. So that's going to be an error on Pachorik. That's going to bring up Custer.
The 33, Larson Custer.
Custer has been out on a fly to left and a sac fly to left field to score for Neosho. There's a strike called at the knees. On the Larson Custer, the first. It's a little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Foul ball back to the screen. The stretch in the. Nice job there. Spoiling that pitch does Custer. A little bit low on the inside. Strike 3 called. I didn't look at the speed. Nonetheless, a punch out, then an E6, then a punch out. That's going to bring up Hilton. Hilton will step in with 2 outs and a runner at first. Hit by a pitch and walked in this first game. There's a strike. Horn. Strike right through there. 92-mile-an-hour fastball right there. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 ball. Outside corner. So a punch out, an error, a punch out, and we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Blue Devils leading 5-2. I'll be back. Sawyer Tolk to the plate. He takes ball 1. Pitching change. Will Berger from DeSoto in for the Panthers. There's a strike, 1-1. The count. Berger with a 3.0 ERA. They're the first baseman. Take in foul territory. So back to the top of the order.
Fielder Marcus Dirks.
Back to the top of the order, the new pitcher, Will Berger, faces his second hitter, and that will be Dirks. Dirks has a fly, a base on balls in this second game. That's up high for ball 1, 1-0 the count. There's a strike called up. Side strike, 1 out. For ball 2. 2-1 the count. That's down low. 3-1 the count. Blue Devils leading 5-2 here in the bottom. There's a fly ball into left field. Measuring that up is Colvert, and he takes care of it for the out. So that's going to bring up Nolan the fourth. Nolan the fourth has a double. a ground out that yielded a run and a fly in center field. That misses low and inside, 1-0 the count. The ball headed into right center, and Brown comes over to take care of it. So a 3-up, 3-down inning for the Blue Devils at the plate. We're going to go to the top of the 7th inning. Blue Devils 2. Deer back to the mound for another inning of work. I'll be back. All right, Jay Morgan will pinch hit for Aikens. There's a swing and a miss. Caleb Deer. Another 91 mile missed. 0-2. And the heater, so strike for the strikeout. Yeah, you're going to get another pinch hitter, number 30.
Spears.
Cole Spears, he starts the day batting .286. He'll step in. Ace Deer. Believe that fastball was faster than 91. I the end 9 and it did 0-1 the count. 83 mile an hour fastball there, fouls it back to the screen. It's hard to see if you don't look up quick. Yes. 0-2 the count. 94 mile an hour fastball at 1-2 the count. Check swing, ruled a ball, 2-2 the count. It's one thing to be able to throw 92 to 95, but when you can control, at times with that speed, you'll have movement that makes it hard to control. So, you know, we always talk like it's easy to throw hard and throw strikes, and it's not. 2-2 the count here, 1 out. And the heater for strike.
I think that was a 97. Huh? I think that was like a 7 in there.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. I couldn't see that. This is another pinch hitter?
The pinch hit. takes a Panthers last point. So down to their last strike 4. 0-2 the count on Dingus. There's a foul ball into the dugout. People bailing over there. Pretty close to right where I would imagine Coach Murray is. So we'll do the 0-2 again. To the count. Deer trying to finish things this off here by striking out the side. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. There's a ground ball at Santiago. Steps on the bag after corralling that thing, and the Blue Devils win 5-2. So the Blue Devils dropped the first game 7-6 in 9 innings. A scheduled 7-inning game. Then they come back and win 5-2. Keep an eye on your information. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. That was Mr. taking care of the scoreboard for me. I want to thank everyone that helps with the broadcast. The Blue Devils lost the first one, won the second one 5-2. And keep an eye on your WhatsApp for those of you, because Mr. Woyda will be sending out, but also the game on Tuesday for Central Missouri in Trenton, Missouri. There is a broadcast that will come with that. So have a good evening. So keep an eye on there, and you'll be able to watch that game on Tuesday. Then on Thursday at Johnson County, or is that at home? Let me look real quick. No, Thursday is here at KCK, and then Saturday will be Johnson County's broadcast. So excuse me. Thank you for watching and or listening today. The Blue Devils split 2 each with Neosho Panthers, 2 pretty evenly matched teams. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Thank you for being with us. Have a great evening.